I can't even begin to tell you guys how excited and how ready I am for the playoffs. There's still some regular season games going on, there's games on tonight, but none of them really matter all that much. All of the playoff teams are set, there's just some things that could still change, like Vegas and Colorado are still jockeying for first place in the West Division, but for the most part, the playoffs are set, and the series that I am most excited for is in the Central Division, the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Florida Panthers. I was extremely pumped about this series before they had their little 2-game mini-series to close out the season, but after those 2 games, they just made me more excited to watch this playoff series. This is the first time in NHL history that the Panthers and the Lightning are going to be meeting in the playoffs, so it should be a ton of fun. In this video, I'm kind of going to preview the series a little bit, and at the end I will give you guys my predictions. One thing I want to ask you guys though before we do get started, do you want me to post a video previewing and predicting each of the first round series matchups? I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that yet, just because I don't know how many people would be interested in that, so I figured I would do it for this series to start off since it is the one that I'm most excited for, and then depending on your guys' feedback, maybe I'll do one for each of the first round matchups. So if you guys do enjoy these type of videos and you want to see one for every single first round matchup, then be sure to leave this video a like. That's the best way to show your support, and most importantly, if this is your first time checking out the channel and you want more NHL content just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and now let's begin. Alright, so starting off with the basics, just comparing the two teams' records during the regular season, the Florida Panthers went 37-14-5 for 79 points, which was good for second in the Central Division, and then the Tampa Bay Lightning finished with a record of 36-17-3, 75 points, third in the Central. So the Panthers had the better regular season, and they will have home ice advantage in this first round matchup against the defending Stanley Cup champions. Does that matter a whole lot? Probably not, but I'm sure Florida would rather have it than not have it. Now taking a look at some more in-depth team stats here, the Florida Panthers finished the regular season with a 3.36 goals for per game, which was third in the entire league, and they had a 2.7 goals against per game, which was 9th in the NHL. And then looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, they finished with a 3.21 goals for per game, which was 9th, and a 2.59 goals against per game, which was 6th. So the Panthers hold the edge in terms of goals for per game, and the Lightning hold the edge in terms of goals against per game. Now taking a look at the special teams, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. As you can see here, the Tampa Bay Lightning have a pretty big advantage. Their special teams were a lot better than the Panthers throughout the regular season. They had a top 5 penalty kill, a top 10 power play, and looking at the Panthers, they're kind of middle of the pack and mediocre when it comes to both power play and penalty kill. So special teams is something I think Florida definitely has to improve on in the postseason, especially the penalty kill against a team like Tampa Bay, whose power play is already very good, and they're getting Nikita Kucherov back. Now, one last thing I want to take a look at before I just give you guys my general thoughts on the series, the head-to-head matchups this season between the Lightning and the Panthers. Florida definitely had the upper hand. They won 5 of 8 games, and the Panthers looked especially dominant in the recent 2-game stretch to close out the season. They outscored Tampa Bay 9-1 over that 2-game stretch. So that's going to do it for looking at the team stats and comparing how these two teams fared throughout the regular season. Does any of that really matter heading into the playoffs? I mean, probably not. When the playoffs start, you can kind of just throw everything out the window. It's a clean slate. However, with this being a preview of the series, I feel like it was still necessary to look at those things. Now I just want to give you guys kind of my general thoughts on the series and how I think things could end up going. This will sound kind of cliche and a little bit obvious, but I think this series is going to come down to goaltending. When it comes to the Tampa Bay Lightning, well, they have arguably the best goaltender on the planet. We know that it's going to be Vasilevsky in every game of this series. When he's playing at the top of his game, I mean, the Lightning are going to be a pretty tough out. Now, the Florida Panthers goaltending situation, on the other hand, that's what I'm interested in heading into this series. In all likelihood, I think it is going to be Bobrovsky in Game 1 starting things off for the Panthers. Even though Chris Driedger and also Spencer Knight put up better numbers than Bobrovsky this season, he is still their guy. He played the most games this year, and Bobrovsky definitely was better this season than he was last season. He was good enough. That being said, I don't think Bobrovsky just being good enough is gonna cut it in this series against the Lightning. If the Panthers are going to win this series and knock off the defending champions, I think Bobrovsky has to play lights out. He might have to steal a game or two, and I'm not exactly all that confident in that happening just because Bobrovsky has been, kind of up and down ever since becoming a member of the Panthers. Now, it is a really good sign that the last time Bobrovsky was in the playoffs, he knocked off the Tampa Bay Lightning as a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So I would imagine that would give Sergei Bobrovsky a little bit of confidence heading into this series, knowing that he's knocked off this team in the postseason before and pretty recently. So obviously, I think goaltending is going to be huge in this series, like it is basically in every playoff series. Another thing I want to touch on on, and another thing that I think is going to play a huge part in this series is Nikita Kucherov and Steven Stamkos. We know they're going to be back for the start of this series, but are they going to be 100% healthy? Are they going to be up to game speed? Stamkos has been out, for like a month now, but he has obviously played games this season. If he is 100% recovered from the injury and he's ready to go for game 1, then he should be relatively fine. Now, Nikita Kucherov, on the other hand, even if he is 100% healthy, which he likely is, he's been skating for a long time now, but he still hasn't played a game since last year's Stanley Cup final against the Dallas Stars. So it's likely that there's going to be some rust there for Kucherov, and he might take a little bit to get back to game speed, because as much as he's been practicing and skating, that's not like playing an actual NHL game, especially a playoff game. So it is going to be interesting to see how Stamkos and Kucherov play. Kucherov especially, again, because he's been out so long, but obviously these two guys are going to have a massive impact on this series. How big? I feel like that kind of depends on how long it takes them to get back into the swing of things. So those are my general thoughts on the series and which players and what things I think could be big X factors. Now it's time to get into predictions. I'm sure that's what you've all been waiting for. But before I give you guys my predictions, let's take a look at what you guys think. I made a poll on the community tab 5 hours ago as of the time I'm recording this video. There are currently 4,000 votes on the poll, it says, so it's a pretty big sample size. And with 60% of the votes, you guys think that the Florida Panthers are going to knock off the Tampa Bay Lightning in this series. And it seems like a lot of people are pulling for the Panthers in this series as well and want them to win. And honestly, I kind of am too. I'd like to see the Panthers go on a deep run. However, that being said, my prediction, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning winning this, and the game amount, I'm going to say it goes the distance. I'm going to say Tampa Bay takes this in 7 games. I hope I'm wrong. Again, I want the Panthers to go on a deep playoff run, but I just think Tampa Bay is going to be a really difficult out for any team. Obviously, they're the defending champions. They're just absolutely stacked, and they're going to have all their guys back. Panthers fans, though, you guys should be pretty happy that I'm picking the Lightning to win here, because I don't have the greatest track record when it comes to playoff series predictions. We'll see what happens, though. Again, I am really excited about this matchup, more so than I am for any of the other first round matchups. If you guys did miss out on voting on the community tab, then be sure to let me know down below in the comments section which team do you think is going to win this series and why, which players do you think could be big X factors for either team. And also, like I said at the start of the video, if you guys want me to do preview and prediction videos for all of the other first round matchups, then be sure to show some love to this video, leave it a like, and most importantly, if this was your first time checking out the channel and you want more NHL content just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you all in the next video.